Um, so, I had mentioned before that I had a dream about Malcolm Jamal Warner where he asked me to check the back of his neck and he had bruises on the back of his neck. Like he'd been held under pressure by like a thumb and finger around the back of the neck. And then, I'm writing and I'm watching and stuff's happening and I'm paying attention and blah, blah, blah. And I start getting codes coming through talking about how his death was connected to the guy that got murdered from Run DMC. And then there was also a connection to all these African American males that are going missing, that it's all connected to Malcolm Jamal Warner. And, it's written there, it's all written down. I'll put a link in the description box below of, everything so you can see. And I've just, it looks like I'm bright. I had kind of just flippantly remarked, I'm expecting to find a connection between his death and the Illuminati, and it looks like I'm right. I'm just watching a video just now, and he's asking questions talking about, why is there always drownings, with Whitney Houston and with a lot of black men, African American men, African American people, a lot of their deaths in there involve water. And for all these people who suspect that it's got something to do with the elites, the Illuminatis, the occult, the supernatural, that sort of thing, what you need to understand is that they're sticklers for detail, which is why they're stuck in a karmic loop, because they can't think outside the box. They're sticklers for detail. Everything has to go according to how it is written. And so it's like a pentagram. It controls and contains and does not allow for expansion. It moves as one energy as opposed to moving. How do I put it? And it moves that kind of energy that's contained and sticking to the spell, sticking to the rule, sticking to the letter and blah blah blah, because that's what Satan does. They trap themselves inside the circles of the pentagrams and all of that, because and it turns their energy into like a linear, laser focused movement. But the occult doesn't work like that. The supernatural doesn't work like that. The supernatural works with evolution, and pentagrams contain evolution. It stops it. It refrains it, because it basically puts evolution in a glass jar and puts a cork on top. And evolution is supposed to be free flowing, just like energy and air and all of that. So, they get a lot of this stuff wrong, but they stick to the rules. And you'll find that they will use the gods to do with their ethnicities and that. And when it comes to water, the one they like to use the most, especially down in like around New Orleans way and all of that, like, Georgia and Louisiana and, all those kind of areas, because of, the slavery and all of that, which is why I find it so interesting that Malcolm Jamal Warner used the term captors. So the Africans, when they came over as slaves, they brought their gods and all of that with them. And when it came to water, the one they used the most was Mama Wata. And I did a story about the mysterious death of Henry McCabe. I'll put a link in the description box. And that involved, I'm pretty sure that involved Mama Wata too. So when it comes to, especially with celebrities, where they think that they were, like an Illuminati sacrifice and that, if it involves water and they're African American, their roots can be traced back to Africa or slavery, um, they'll use Mama Wata because she's good and bad. You can use her for fame, but you can use her for sacrifice as well. So because this man was asking why, and that's my response, Mama Wata. Now, as I said, with these missing boys down around the Georgia area, and they've just been going missing a lot, um, vanishing off the face of the earth. It seems almost, and yeah, I personally think that they take them underground because African American males are worth a lot of money on the black market, and they're the most sought after for um, the Epstein and Diddy stuff. Let's just put it that way. And then when they're done with them, obviously, it's organs. They use them for organs and that too, because there's a lot of them. Um, they reproduce really easily, and they're fit, they're young, they're strong, they're healthy, and a lot of the Diddy Epstein kind of circles and that love that sort of prize, so they're worth a lot of money. Um, and yeah, it all goes back to the Illuminati and all that because they all mix in the same circles. So that boy that was found rolled up in the gym mat, and his organs were missing. Yep. I would be interested to know whether Malcolm Jamal Warner was buried with his organs. I wonder if that's. I mean, there's been no reports of that he had missing organs, but yeah, it would be interesting to know. Anyway, so I'm just adding my 2 cents, and it looks like I found a connection and hit the nail on the head. So I'll put links in the description box of when I first started talking about it right up to now, including links to the video that I'm just watching where the guy, he's talking a convincing story, but I think maybe I'm able to fill in some of the blanks for him based on what came out after Malcolm died that I wrote down and I had expressed to other people that were talking about it. So anyway, it's just a hypothesis. I just throw my hat in the ring, take with it what you will. But I'm pretty sure as time goes on, I'm going to start connecting the dots, and it'll turn out that I will be right. I've already connected him with the Run DMC thing, with the Illuminati thing, with the Mama Wata celebrity African American sacrifice thing. You'll find that how they do it will have a lot to do with the ethnicity or the ancestry, the strongest ancestral god on the sacrifices side. They will use that a lot if they think it's going to give them extra power. Now it sounds like Malcolm didn't sell his soul. He didn't. He did. In the stuff that I watched, he made it very clear that he could have been, you know, the hottest, next biggest African American sensation, but he chose to stick to his principles and morals and stuff, which would make him very high value. And if he was uncovering things, especially around the time that everyone was talking about Epstein and Diddy and stuff like that, and if he was remembering things or uncovering things or starting to feel brave about coming out to speak about things that he knew or anything like that, of course they're going to shut it down. So I think this is going to be an ongoing investigation for me. But I think that this is going to end up, well, what exactly what it was said. This is a lot bigger than people realise. So anyway, just some food for thought, huh? If we can get that poor man some justice, then we will. God bless him. Such a well-spoken, articulate man, which is why it was interesting that he chose to use the word captors. So anyway, let's hope we can get him some justice and bring some peace for his family, and maybe protect some more, African American actors and talent in that out there. Well, I mean, I know I will be at my foundation. Regardless of whether you're African American, Chinese, Hindu, I don't care what country you're from. You will absolutely be protected. You'll be My space will be so safe, it's like guarded by God himself. So yeah, it's just gut wrenching that these kids are put in this situation, and their talents and that are exploited, so that these vampires and zombies can feast off them, feast off their soul and feast off their talents, hocus pocus style. And then once they suck them dry, they just dispose of them like they're nothing. Or if they become a threat because they wake up, or they become brave, or they've had enough, or whatever. It's horrible. We won't have any of that. I'm going to be so chill. When this is over, I don't want to have to put my dragon wings on ever again. I don't want to have to deal with any karmic justice, or unless it's absolutely 100% necessary. I just don't want to have to go down that road. I've spent so long in the underworld, dragging souls down there and bringing souls back up, that if I have to turn golden dragon again, so to speak, I want it to be because I'm saving the souls of the kids that are coming to me and my staff and all of that, and not because I'm having to deal with bloody tyrannical, psychopathic, genocidal, maniac, bloody leaders. I just want to flit around like a fairy godmother now, please, and just make kids' dreams come true, and have tourists and all of that just come and have the best time, just in our little oasis, in our little corner of the world. I'll be their sanctuary, and there'll be no blimmin' karmic judge bollocks going on in my friggin' blimmin' heckin' sanctuary. Oh, God. Oh. Anyway, so yeah, my 2 cents. Speak to you later. Bye.